I literally forget what every month is supposed to be until it happens. And then I'm like, oh, it's that month.
It's that month. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Pointless Discourse with myself, Hoppocalypse, and Itisdpayne.
No, I am Hoppocalypse.
I am Itisdpayne.
Yes.
I'm tired, actually. We talked a lot already.
I read books.
We read books.
Oh, how dare you take my identity?
No, yeah. I had mentioned to Payne a book I was currently reading, and then he started reading it, and I was doing the thing where I finished the book, and I was like, did you get to that? Did that happen for you yet? Because when I got to about where you were in the book, I was just like, eating it up.
Yeah. Well, it was funny because, like, I remember something I said in our last, like, it wasn't recorded, but it was something I said. I'm like, oh yeah, this, and then I'm like, well, that was blatantly wrong. So, yeah, I don't know. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, it's like not a confirmed thing. So I don't know. I could still be right, but I'm pretty sure I'm wrong. But now my brain's all like, well, then if this thing connects with this thing, it's I like it when a book does that. I've been reading a few books where it doesn't do that lately. I'm like, this isn't activating the fun part of my brain where it comes up with endless theories of how does this work, or like how is this connected.
Yeah, I do think this is the book that I recommended you for any listeners that didn't catch it. I don't remember if we specifically said it in last episode, but the Seven Moons of Mali Almeida, and I would actually be willing to reread it to see, now that I finished it, to see if like it was hinted at earlier on, which I feel like it was, but no spoilies. Except for Gravity Falls.
Yeah, we will do Gravity Falls spoils, but we will spoil one thing about Seven Moons. If you do think about reading it, please look up all the trigger warnings, because there's a bunch.
Yeah. Very beautiful book, but it's a lot of heavy material.
Yeah. Don't be like me and just jump in. And I was like, oh, cool.
Based on the other books you've read, though, like you said you read the Poppy War, and I've had a lot of people tell me to check warnings for Poppy War as well, so...
Yeah.
I figured you'd be good.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, I wasn't like, oh my goodness, this is atrocious. It's just more like, well, like, some of the things that you read is just like, that is terrible. But it's like, I wasn't like, well, I gotta stop reading now. Like, I was about to say the line that you wrote, or that you read. I don't feel like reading this man's fetishes.
Yes, for anybody watching via video, this is my copy of Tomorrow. See, like, I'm almost a third of the way through. I'm like a little bit over 100 pages out of the 400. I'm probably not going to read the 5 books I plan to for this month, but I'm trying. The other 2 are much shorter books, so we'll see. I purposely left the shorter books
for last.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really plan like that. I'm just like, okay, let's just do the thing.
I just specifically had the TBR for the Asian Readathon. Yeah. If I didn't have 2 books that I was also reading for book clubs, I probably would be a lot further in this, but as it is.
What's next month?
Pride Month.
Is it? I just,
that's what I'll keep read.
Up with. Yeah.
I'm surprised you don't keep up with Pride Month being a streamer.
I don't like. So I remember Black History Month, and then I remember AAPI Month because we ran charities for those months, and then it's not like we were against the LGBT pride, all that stuff. It was just, we looked at it and we're like, we just did 2 giant, like,
oh no, but I just
campaigns.
mean keep track as in, like, I felt like when we weren't doing like LGBTQ plus fundraising, we had a lot of friends in our communities that were like doing it as well. So it was like a balance.
Yeah, I literally forget what every month is supposed to be until it happens. And then I'm like, oh, it's that month.
It's that month. Yeah, I don't remember what every month is because I do believe May is also Mental Health Awareness Month. And then I saw another thing for this month, and I was like, I can only focus on one thing, and I am Asian American, so that'll be my thing for this month. I know, what was it?
Are you sure?
Somebody joked with me, I forget where it was, but somewhere I might be misspeaking, but I think someone told me they had a friend in Canada, and that in Canada they have a Filipino month, and I was like, I'm in the wrong country then, I guess.
Well, according to the one book I've been reading, they do talk about colonization, a lot of Filipino stuff, which I didn't realize that was the focus of this book. So, yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
So speaking of...
History's fun, guys.
Sometimes, depending what side you're on. But speaking
it's never
of
fun.
In some of the books we've been reading lately, it sounds really fun for the colonizers.
Yeah, until you get a bunch of silver.
It worked for them for many years.
It worked.
Until they oppressed too long.
Until the people named after fantasy characters rose.
What was I going to say? But speaking of fun, I'm trying to, do the little transition. Do you have a fun fact for us this week relating to Gravity Falls?
Yeah, there's a lot of celebrity cameos in Gravity Falls. Which I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, you know what? I wonder in this episode, because I feel like this episode it would be a good time for celebrity cameos. But
there is at least one voice I recognize. I'm going to double check the actor before I make my claim, though.
Yep. An article that you can find on this other website points out famous celebrities who voiced some of the characters on the show. Like Smart Waddles being voiced by Neil deGrasse Tyson, Wax Sherlock Holmes being voiced by John Oliver, and NSYNC band member Lance Bass voicing the boy band several times. He does them all?
Yeah, they're all the same person. They don't have different voices.
I think I read that, and then just reading this fact, I was like, wait a second. Other cameos include some cast of the Spider-Man movies, J.K. Simmons and Alfred Molina, who voiced Stanford and the Multi-Bear, respectively.
Nice. What I will say, so the voice I mainly recognize from this episode is Franz's voice. Did you recognize who that is? He was the
is he the instructor dude?
No, that's Sergey. Franz is the little Dutch golf ball.
Okay. Yes. I just saw who played one of the pirate ones, and I was like,
are you peeking? I asked you to guess.
I didn't see his. No, I have no clue.
Patton Oswalt.
Oh, the name, I hear names, and then you know what's real fun? I scrolled past that one and looked at additional voices, and I'm like, wow, I actually recognize all these other ones.
Yeah, the Pacifica's dad is the guy from Firefly.
Mm-hmm. Nathan Fillion.
Yes. I believe Patton Oswalt is he Ratatouille, or is he... I know he's in Ratatouille, but I can't remember what character he is. I said is Ratatouille. Sorry, everybody. The rat's name is Remy. I totally knew that.
He is the dish.
He is... Yes, so Patton Oswalt does play Remy, the rat in Ratatouille.
I've seen his face, but I'm like, I didn't
connect
put it
the
together.
dots.
What's funny is that the pirate is voiced by Jim Cummings, which is the voice, I believe, of Winnie the Pooh. Yep.
Oh, that's fun.
I like the video when they asked Jim Cummings to say lines of Darth Vader as Winnie the Pooh. Yeah, so there's, I think all of the certain characters are like pretty much famous, or like have like they're like cameos and things, like they're cameos for here.
Yeah, I also recognize the voice for the instructor, but I don't recognize him as specifically that voice, but I know that he's a comedian from like Mad TV.
I like clicking on his picture here, and it's like that is not the face that of the person I was expecting to see. But anyway, we can get into this instead of tiptoeing around all the things. I think this is definitely one of my, like, I don't want to say favorite because there's a lot of episodes that I think are really good, but this is like one of the ones I think I enjoyed a lot.
Pacifica's moments in this are very fun. It does make for her to be an interesting character instead of just an antagonist. Mm-hmm. So if you are done beating around the bush, we can do the numbers game.
Okay. I rolled an 8. Well, you get to talk this time.
This time, 15.
How did that happen? I flicked my dice over, but it span and then turned to a 10.
Wizard dice.
Yeah, but it wasn't like, I didn't hear it like move, whatever.
All right, I have the transcript for myself because I did listen to this earlier, but my brain is all over the place today. It's been storing information and dumping it constantly, so don't mind me. Feel free to help me out whenever.
Brain poopies.
But yes, so it opens up in the morning where Stan is offering everybody his Stan cakes, which they're just like pancakes, but they probably have some of his hair in them. To which Dipper is like, no, I don't want that. And Mabel runs in excitedly, and she says that she's going to have her article finally posted in the paper, the Gravity Falls Gossiper, where she talks about squirrel fashion tips, I believe. Mm-hmm. And she opens it, and she tries to show it to everybody, but then Stan starts reading that Pacifica declares that it's currently V-neck season, and he's confused, and Mabel is just as confused. And Dipper says that it looks like somebody bought their way to the front page. And Stan looks at it and he goes, is it legal for a kid to wear that much makeup? But Mabel is visibly upset, and Dipper says, like, don't worry about it, no one even reads these things anymore. To which Seuss catches that it's V-neck season, so he freaks out and is like, help, guys, I must follow fashion. And starts to grab scissors, and he claims that he wants to make be ahead of the curve and make the W neck.
Yes, a whole plot line that is like I'm just thinking of later in the episode where it's just like, I don't blame you, Uncle Stan. Uncle Stan.
Yeah, so Mabel is frustrated and wants a distraction from all of this, to which the TV conveniently cuts and asks, looking for a distraction from your horrible life?
Why, yes.
And they talk about victory, honor, destiny, mutton. These old-timey sounding words are alive and well at the Gravity Falls Royal Discount Putt Hut. Parentheses. All right, asterisks. No mutton available at the snack shop.
Yeah.
To which Dipper pulls out the scrapbook showing Mabel with her picture of her winning, a minor league
gold champion at the age 9.
Mm-hmm. And that she's always been great at it, so how about we do this and take a break? And Stan was like, will kicking all our butts at mini golf make you feel better? And Mabel's like, maybe a little. And Dipper encourages her, and they all start shouting the different words from the commercial. So they go, victory, honor, destiny. And Seuss walks in and shouts mutton, where he has cut the W neck. But as you'd imagine, the W doesn't have stability, so the middle of it just flops down. They start chanting it as they go to leave the shack, and Seuss says to have the pig watch the house, and Waddles is just hanging out on the couch.
There's one thing that I it was like, you know what, this is a little not disturbing, but like a little bit weird, because like Dipper just leaves the house without his hat, his vest, or shoes. He just walks out in his socks.
Just full. He said, we've been too busy, time to go for a break.
Yeah,
we're gonna take a break from everything.
Yeah, and then in the next scene he has all them, but it's still like, I remember sitting there watching him like leave, and I'm like, I don't know, Dipper, like, in my head doesn't look like Dipper if he's not wearing the vest.
No, I totally agree.
And so it's just like, I remember seeing him leave, and I'm like, are you gonna put on shoes, dude? Are they outside? Like, this was so cool, but you were you.
Yes, so then we have them arriving to the golf course, and they're all astonished by it. And Dipper makes the comment. He says, the grass is fake, but the fun is real, and there's something here for everyone. To which you see Robbie is spray painting the word wieners on a wall. And in the credits, they have him listed as Mattress King, because this is the same person in the Tourist Trapped episode who is selling mattresses. And he's now working...
Golf King?
I think that's what he calls himself, or Putt King.
I'll look it up real quick.
Yeah.
I'm here. Doesn't say. I
think we'll get to it.
Yeah, I thought he called himself the Golf King, or yeah.
Yeah, so then he shouts at him from inside a golf cart that he needs to stop that. And then Robbie runs away, and he tries to get the golf cart to move, but it doesn't really move. And he shouts, "Is like, those are lewd hand gestures," as they all start setting up to play. Yeah, Dipper misses terribly. Mabel gives him a dinosaur sticker that says, "Don't worry, you're still extraordinary." And Dipper says he'll takes what he can get, and then Mabel essentially gets a hole-in-one by bouncing it off of Old Man McGuckick's nose, to which he's like, how did I even get here?
A question we ask every time he shows up in an episode.
Yeah, and then Stan gets excited. He's like, somebody in the family finally has talent. And Dipper is like, oh, it just gets better from here. So you have various scenes of Mabel just doing very well at the mini golf, and Stan eventually giving Mabel a big old thumbs up. And if you want to sing the song that comes up during this...
Well, no, you're the one narrating.
No, that's okay. I'm not much of a singer.
I also don't remember the tune. It's like, yeah, she's so good, yeah. It felt like one of those, like, 80s power operas.
But yeah, so they eventually end up at the 18th hole, and Dipper says that if Mabel can score this one, then it'll be her best score yet. So she makes an attempt, and she decides to encourage herself by saying to pretend that the ball is Pacifica's face. And she hits it, and it ends up missing. So she gets mad and throws her club on the ground, and the crowd that was around her that was cheering her on was like, oh, all right, well, that didn't work.
Yeah, just immediately. Okay.
To which Stan tries to cheer her up, and then Seuss also tries to cheer her up and says that outside of the Bermuda Triangle, the only thing golf is the world's greatest mystery outside of the Bermuda Triangle. And Stan says, you're still better than anyone else. And before he can really finish the thought of it, Pacifica shows up with her whole... with everything that she has, as usual. Mm-hmm. And she looks at him and says, oh, I didn't know it was Hobo's Golf Free Day. And Mabel is, of course, very mad to see her there. And then Pacifica looks over at the family. It's like, oh, well, it's the Pines family. We have fat, we have old, we have lame, and we have braces.
Which this is the first time I noticed that Mabel has braces, even though
really,
like I didn't like even.
It's
put it
never
together.
been mentioned.
It's never been mentioned, but I'm just like, you know what? They're not wrong.
She does in fact have braces.
Yeah. I'll also say real quick is that Pacifica has very bad mini golf etiquette because they were still very clearly on the course.
Yeah, they didn't step off the green at all.
Yeah. Well. Technically, they still had a ball in play. Well, no. Now I'm thinking about it. Is that Stan picks it up,
and then she shows up.
They're not on the green technically, so
yeah. They're not really away from the hole. Yeah. Not enough for it to be really considered that they're done.
She knew what she was doing with her money.
Look, don't worry. Stan says what we're all thinking. He asks Seuss if it's wrong to punch a child. And Dipper tries to make a comeback and says, how's that whole fraud thing working out for you? And Pacifica's like, you know what? Having money makes problems go away. And Mabel is like, well, money can't buy you being good at things. To which Pacifica goes, Sergey, and he shows up, and it's her trainer. And what is it? The Sport Olympics.
Yeah, Sport Olympics had mini golf once.
And he took the gold.
Took the gold that he just wears all the time.
But yeah, so then she makes a whole show of it and says, like, I hope you enjoy being in second place, to which she does score the bonus hole, and there's a whole explosion and a bunch of stuff. And Mabel says that she wants a rematch, and she completely snaps and calls her a walking one-dimensional bleached blonde Valley Girl stereotype, to which the whole crowd gasps. And she pouts and says, let's do this. But then the storm rolls in, and the king of mini golf has spoken.
Yes.
He says that the park is closing due to weather and everyone must leave. So Pacifica and Mabel agree to meet up at midnight to have the competition. And they all walk away. And then they end up at
Hermano's Brothers Diner.
Yes. I was reading it, but my brain wasn't translating it.
It's all good. That's why we're a team.
Teamwork. But yeah, Mabel's so sad. She's not even eating. She has her face like on the table and is just opening her mouth as Dipper is slowly feeding her chips. And she's giving up, saying that, mini golf is no longer a talent of hers. And Sousa's encouraging her not to give up. So they say, Dipper says she'll never be able to rag on you again if you actually beat her. Just imagine it. To which Mabel has this imagination where Pacifica tells her that the ugly grandma clothes section is over there. And Mabel goes, well, the section for people who lost at mini golf is over there. To which Zyler and Kraz, the Dream Boys, show up and
when they came in, I was like, yeah, they're back.
They say that we heard a little girl got seriously burned. Oh. And Pacifica is like, I'm ruined. But yeah, so then Mabel says maybe I should practice some more before it hits midnight. And Stan's like, what? You don't want to break into a golf course? Oh, just kidding. Let's go. We're breaking into a golf course. So, yeah, they arrive. Seuss is keeping watch while Stan pulls nails out of the fence and removes a panel so that they can sneak through. And to which, while they're doing this, Mabel hands him her sticker book, and they go in through the hole. And then Stan pulls out a sticker. It says, you the best. Is a little trophy and puts it on Mabel's sweater, and she gives him a thumbs up, and they go inside and start practicing. But as much as she tries to practice getting it through the windmill, it just never seems to come out exactly the way she wants it to. So Dipper stands closer to the actual windmill, and he hears an odd noise, and he freaks out. So he encourages Mabel to grab her club, and they start to approach it. And when they pull away the back panel, they find that there is a golf ball, or sentient golf balls moving around everything. And and particularly the windmill, it's Dutch themed. And they gasp, and everybody starts screaming and freaking out.
As they should.
Yes, they should. And the main spokesperson, Franz, who I said is voiced by Patton Oswalt, is like, okay, I'm Franz. Welcome to our home. And Dipper's like, what is this? And Mabel's like, are you guys like tiny humans or enormous mini humans? And he laughs and he calls them Lilliputians. And that they control the balls, and he shows them the like complex system they have, like a conveyor belt essentially, where they turn cranks, pull levers, and push things around for the balls to come out on the other side. Mabel's in astonishment, and Dipper's like, wow, this is needlessly complicated.
I like when they're showing everything, and I'm like, they purposely had the windmill come through just to not do certain animations of like the ball they're just like, the ball's on this part, now the ball's on this part. They're just like, just cut just cut the ball.
Yeah. And Franz asks, or says that it's their lifelong passion and wants if they would like to be told through song, to which Dipper says, no, we don't need that, to which they get visibly disappointed and then leave.
I would like to hear the song.
And they call them hugelings, so Franz asks what they're doing there. And then Mabel starts to explain that they have the rivalry. And Franz goes, we know all about rivalries. And then we get the pirate captain that you had mentioned earlier telling them to put a clog in it, you windmill lubbers. And you see the pirate versions of the sentient golf balls looking over on the deck and say, what is it? These frilly bottom popinjays are terrible at controlling the balls. We are the ball masters, say I. And they all start chanting arg because, pirates. And then you also see on the other side where there's an Eiffel Tower, there's French Lilliputians. And one of them shouts, Je ne sais quoi, sacre bleu, au revoir. I don't actually know French.
Yeah, I'm translating it now. So the subtitles in it say, I don't actually know French, as you were saying. And then it's like, I don't know what? Sacre bleu, goodbye.
So then you also have a knight that shows up. Stay thee your comments, you scurrilous Frenchmen. None control the balls better than the knights of Wiener Castle. Who wrote this? Because, Robbie. So they all start fighting with each other. They get golf pencils and they all start charging at each other and fighting. And I'm skipping ahead of all the shenanigans to where Dipper ends up laughing at them and calls them a riot. And Mabel says, asks them to calm down. Your fighting is inadvertently adorable. So Franz, covered in bruises, is like, you know what? Adorable we are, hugeling, but our tale less so. And they explain how there's all these rivalries amongst the different Lilliputians. And he's like, if there's some way to decide which side is best with maybe an award or like a trophy, I don't know, to where the French one points to Mabel's sticker. And Franz is like, the sticker could decide. It does say the best on it. So the head knight demands that they pick whoever is the best and to end the war. And Mabel is, she's uncomfortable and she's like, I don't want to be involved in your like weird mini blood feud or whatever this is. And Dipper tells her to like take advantage of this because it could help her end up winning. And she says that she feels like it's cheating. And Dipper's like, Pacifica's been cheating at life because she's so rich. She can do whatever she wants. So Mabel agrees to say that whoever does the best job of helping her win the golfing duel, gets the sticker, to which all of them are excited to participate. And she tries to reiterate, like, I'm no fighting with each other, just helping me. To which we see how well that goes later. But this is the scene you were talking about. Yep. That while Mabel and Dipper are practicing and getting things prepared, you have Seuss and Stan hanging out in the car, and Seuss has all of his identical Mystery Shack shirts in front of him and a pair of scissors, and says that he's cutting W's into all his shirts so that the public can have what it wants. And Stan is just sitting there, turning on the radio, complaining about how the kids sure are taking their sweet old time. And
that's when he turns on the radio and leans back, just like, might as well get the nap. And Seuss leans back as well. Sure are a lot of stars out tonight.
Well, this is getting weird, and then leaves. So then the Northwests pull up, so where we have her father, Preston, saying that winning is everything in life. And Priscilla, her mother, who's looking at herself in a mirror, says, and looks. Winning in looks is everything in life. To which Pacifica is like, are you guys going to, like, watch me? I've been practicing for this. And he says that he has a party to go to, but he's sure that he'll read about it in the paper. And then Pacifica calls out Sergei, and he, like, tumbles out of this tiny trunk in the back of the car and pulls out his golfing clubs for her. And before the driver drives off with the Northwest parents, the dad leans out the window and says, "You're Northwest, don't lose." And Pacifica is like, how much do you want to bet that they don't even show up? And
dramatic.
all the lights going off, and Mabel is standing there looking for someone. And Pacifica's like, waiting in the dark, not creepy at all.
Yeah.
She's very confident, says, I don't know why you bothered to come unless you got something up your sleeve. And Mabel says, oh, I guess you could say we've got a little something, right? And then the little guy pops out of her sleeve, and she immediately shoves it back into her sleeve, to which Dipper laughs about. And then Sergei announces 18 holes, standard rules. Winner lives in glory, loser wallows in eternal shame. On your mark, get set, mini golf. So then they go through, and you see little moments of sabotage happening from the sentient golf people. First, I think, is the Cowboys. They move like the prairie-style wagon so that Pacifica's golf ball hits it, but that it moves out of the way so that Mabel's can go in. Then at the Pirates, Mabel
they
puts
blatantly shoot her ball like with a gun.
Oh, that's right, because it gets right to the edge of the hole, and then from one of the upward shots, they shoot it into the hole so that she gets the hole in one. And Pacifica is so confused, like, what? How? What's happening? So then you end up at the minor hole, and that one this one makes me laugh. So
I'll take it.
So Dipper's laughing. He's like, what silly things go on down in this hole? And it falls down a chute, and they start shouting that there's a gas leak and anyone who goes down there will die. And Big Henry shows up, and like you said, he announces he'll take it, and they're all like, no, we need you. And he says, go home.
Go home, Polly.
And he's like sweating and breathing heavily as he's going further into the gas to where they're just kind of waiting for the ball to make it out on the other side. Pacifica's checking her watch like, what's taking so long?
He's just
slapping himself awake.
Come on, Big Henry, you can do this. He's just smacking himself and just
cries
dies.
over a picture of Polly.
Yeah. And then, as he says, grown to satisfaction, he dies peacefully. Don't know if that was very peaceful. He suffocated to death.
Yeah, so then Pacifica freaks out naturally and shouts at Sergei to bring her a soda. And Mabel goes in and gives him like the thumbs up, saying like that was badonkulous. And
just a quick side note, I guess they don't know that Big Henry's dead, but they're all just like, yeah,
get us a sticker.
It's like, we know that he went to his death. We literally said it. But whatever, sticker, man.
I know. And they do like mini high fives with all of them. And Mabel is like winking, saying like, I'm gonna say you guys are doing a good job. You guys might have a sticker in your future. To which Franz, who they first met, starts freaking out and is like, for everything we've worked for, and this is how it turns out. And they joke about knocking on wood, so they knock on their own clocks. And then
it works.
Pacifica says that she can feel something weird, something's off about this. And Sergei makes the comment maybe they has a little people to help control their balls go. And Pacifica laughs, saying that he needs better English lessons, but that she's globally ranked. So it's really ridiculous that she's getting beat right now. And a tiny figure darts behind a bush, to which Pacifica spits out the pit in her pit cola drink.
Pit cola, yeah.
Yeah, and she says she always forgets about the pit and wants a different one. And a tiny hand taps her on the shoulder, and she's grabbed and dragged into the bushes. And Sergei comes back. He's like, "This is bad."
With the same soda.
Yeah. So then they're beginning to tally the scores. And Dipper says that, he can't wait to look at the on Pacifica's face when she's realized she's lost. And he starts joking. He's like, maybe he'll be like, oh, and mocking her. And Mabel says, Mabel checks her morality and asks Dipper, is it bad that I feel good about making her feel bad? And Dipper's just like, oh, you just enjoy winning. Pacifica will be fine. And then they hear screaming. And you find that Pacifica's been tied in front of the windmill by the windmill Lilliputians, and she's freaking out. and Pacifica's like shouting for her to get let go, and Franz is like, welcome, twins. I can tell you're loving this, right? Right? No? And Mabel's like, what are you guys doing? And Dipper says that this wasn't part of the deal. And Franz explains that Mabel is clearly favoring the miners, and they figured, what's better than beating Pacifica? Killing her, right? And Pacifica says that she's going to call her parents, but then they find that they've taken her phone and are sending the message, you are dumb, to someone named Tiffany. And they're like, hee hee, send the message. Then the pirates get involved, and they've captured Sergei, and they say, if you're going to play dirty, so are we. Now give us a sticker or he walks the plank. Then the rest of the Lilliputians start to emerge. You have the miners, you have the French, and they all start to pressure and scream at Mabel until she finally breaks. And she shouts, enough. And she says, you know what? At this point, no one gets the sticker. And they all freak out and they start booing her. And she says, no one gets a sticker because you're all being jerks. I mean, why can't you just get along? And they just all agree. Don't you know how a rivalry works? We just hate each other.
It's kind of how rivalries work, lass.
Mabel's like, you know what? Maybe those are dumb. Maybe don't settle them with petty competitions. Maybe the only way to be the best is by ending the fighting and working together. And she rips the sticker up and eats it angrily. So all the Lilliputians gasp and converse, and they say, you know what? It is clear. If we work together, then we can cut open her belly and get the sticker. And gets the girl, slice her open.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
And Mabel's like, you guys aren't appreciating the lesson here. And Pacifica starts to get pulled towards the whirring blades of the windmill, and she's freaking out. And Dipper's saying that they've got to get out of here. But Mabel says that she definitely wants to save Pacifica before they try and leave. So she climbs a lamppost, clearly being followed by a swarm of the sentient golf balls. And she swings along on a chain of lights and lands by the windmill, evading the golf pencil spears being thrown by the crowd. And Sergei, who's about to walk off the plank, shouts, Mr. Dipper!
It's pronounced neat.
Niet.
Niet, yeah.
And then Dipper says to not freak out, the water's shallow, there's no possible way he could drown. And then he falls in face first, and Dipper's like, seriously?
Once again, an understandable reaction.
So then Mabel's untying Pacifica. And Pacifica is not being grateful. She's saying, it took you long enough, and be careful of the earrings. They're worth more than your house. And Mabel's like, you know what? Maybe I won't untie you. And Pacifica's like, no, please, untie me. Untie me. She's like, that's what I thought. And they pull her free, grab her golf club. And the Mabel looks to Pacifica and asks if she's ready to putt. And Pacifica agrees, and they start swinging out all of the sentient golf balls. And Pacifica starts to compliment Mabel. She's like, you're not actually that terrible, a little rusty. And Mabel's like, not now, just shut up and putt. And Dipper and Sergei end up arriving with a golf cart and shout at them to get on and to gun it. And the Lilliputians are shouting not to let them escape. So as they try to head for the exit, the knights cut a string, releasing a pair of swinging axes in front of the gate. Dipper hits the gas, and they manage to zoom through and go around the loop-de-loop, and Sergei falls off, to which Sergei just shouts, Sergei, overboard! Pacifica says, I'll get a new one.
It's not a great line in what could be happening there, but at the same time, it is a funny line.
It is pretty funny. So they're freaking out as they're starting to poke holes through the car with the pencils. Mabel starts climbing up on the roof. And Franz shouts, you call yourself a golfer without us. The club is useless in your hands. And Mabel shouts, you know what? What's 10 minus 6? They're like, wait, 10 minus... And she shouts 4 and hits Franz into the bonus hole. It glows and shoots up a column of lava. Crazy golf course. Which the golf cart rides on, and they skid through the gates and stop out in the parking lot where it begins to fall apart, and then pencils and an axe poke all the way through the gate. And they start tossing golf balls over the wall, or Franz and them start tossing golf balls over the wall, telling all hugelings to stay out. And Pacifica calls them little trolls and says she will sue you. I will own you. And then starts yelling at Dipper and Mabel about, what is it? Oh, if you think it's just because you saved my life. And to which Mabel pulls out a sticker that says, I apologize. And says that she's sorry and that she should have never have cheated. And that she totally Pacifica should have totally won fair and square. And Pacifica softens up a little and says, you're lucky that this sticker looks fantastic on me. To which Stan and Zeus pull up, and they all get in the car, and Pacifica is standing outside the car, and she's like, as if I'd ride in your... And then lightning flashes as another storm rolls by, and she is inside the car, sitting between Dipper and Mabel. And Stan and Zeus start singing the driving song. And Pacifica's hand ends up in a sticky smudge. And Mabel, in the middle of it, says, I found 2 tacos. Eats it without questioning anything. But Pacifica is astonished as they're allowed to eat in the car. And Mabel says that the car is where you get secret surprise snacks, and asks if she wants one. And Pacifica says, I'm not supposed to take handouts. And Mabel's like, handouts? Do you know what sharing is? And Pacifica can't even say the word. So she forces Pacifica to just take the surprise snack. And they drop off Pacifica at our house. And Pacifica says, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I had fun tonight. And also, tell your servant I like his W neck. And Zeus goes, yes, as the W flaps down.
So now it's a big U.
So Dippers asks Mabel if they're cool, and Mabel just says that she thinks she made some progress, and that at the end of the day, Pacifica is still just a normal kid like the rest of them. And Dipper laughed, saying that she should have charged her for that taco, and Mabel agrees. Mm-hmm. And Zeus is like, hey, do you have any more of those surprise tacos? To where, as they zoom away from the car, as they're laughing, you find out the golf ball that was in the windmill, Franz, is hiding on the rear license plate. And he claims he's going to have his day, but ends up falling off and landing upside down on the side of the road. And he starts screaming, sand trap, ow, ow. And then the credit scene is them singing some more about them controlling the balls. And the miner says, hey guys, I figured it out. We control the balls. And they go, now he gets it. Oh, you guys. And then they all form a kick line, and they continue singing about their lives are filled with nonstop fun, and there's nothing like a hole-in-one. And Sergey is clapping and says, can I go now? And I shout, never. The idea of Pacifica, I can get a new one.
Yeah. Oh, man. So, some fun things in here. Some character revelations. Apparently, Mabel's had braces ever since she was 9. Which I guess that tracks because she's 12. I know some people that have them for multiple years.
Yeah, like 3 to 5, depending on what it is.
Mm-hmm. And, like, I don't know. It's said in the episode that Mabel and Pacifica are both extremely talented mini golfers. Yeah, moving on. Let's see.
Continuity is a bit more interesting.
Yeah, it's like Dipper's watching a rerun of Ducktective, which was in one of the TV shorts. Let's see. Yeah, there's a mention of like the past couple of days have been stressful with karaoke and Into the Bunker, which is something I think we said in other episodes of how season 2, like there's less time progression between the episodes. Mm-hmm. This is something I did notice, was that on the 18th hole, Robbie's explosion muffin is on the back wall.
Makes sense.
Yeah, because they couldn't find the water tower. Yeah, maybe the Brian Flea keeps going. Yeah, there's another mention to Irrational Treasure about them being frauds. Stan's real name is Stanley, revealed on the license plate. I thought there's something else? Apparently, this is the first time a gun has been shot on screen.
Mm.
I
like this.
Okay.
Oh, that although Piccola has been seen in almost every episode,
Yep.
this is the first time it's mentioned out loud, and it's also the first time the soda is revealed to contain actual peach pits.
Mm-hmm. I was about to say that one as well. Let's see. There's a series of cutscenes revealed. Oh, in the box set, that apparently Mabel is still unsure what gender Waddles is. Mabel originally was ever column appeared in a newspaper as a small bit in the bottom with her name misspelled as Dabble.
No.
Okay. These were okay. Now I read cutscenes. I read it as like video games, like a cutscene. But no, it's the scenes that were taken out. Apparently, Seuss revealed to believe in the golf gods. Pacifica called Mabel fat as an insult. And okay, this would make sense why there's that Lilliputian just chilling with Mabel, because apparently there's a cutscene where she just takes one and puts it in her pocket.
Yeah, because she has the one bit when they're in her sleeve.
Yeah, she's just there. But this is a fun episode. I do like all the different characters and stuff. Bunch of fun. But more importantly, hey Hop, who are you most like in this episode?
Most like? I am not Pacifica. I am not Pacifica's parents. I'm not Seuss. I'm not Stan. I guess that really leaves me with a Lilliputian, Sergey, or one of the twins.
There's lots of Lilliputians. You can be Big Henry or whatever his name was.
I could be Polly, the reason he died. The last thing he thought of before he died. I think I'd be like Dipper in this particular one, where he's kind of being more of the encouraging friend who is there and supportive and like trying to help through things. Although I don't know if I necessarily tell someone to cheat, because I think somebody else is cheating at it anyway. But I do think I'd say one of those things like, you know, sometimes I feel like people have come to me, they're like, I can't do it that way. That's how so-and-so got it. I'm like, well, if that's what they had to do to get it, even out the playing field. Don't make things harder for yourself just because, you know, they're buttheads. So I guess I'd put myself as Dipper this episode. I feel like it's been a while since I said I was Dipper. He's been a little bit crazy for the last few episodes.
It's been 4 episodes. We can literally count them.
Yeah. But I mean, last episode he was Wendy crazy, and then before that, he was summoning zombies.
There was something I did want to mention before I got into mine, was I did find it interesting, just like the way they kind of like, because it'd be easy to skip over Pacifica's like home life, because it's just like, oh wow, she's rich, she's all that good, but then it's just like the family pressure, like if you lose, we disown you, like how dare you, and it's
she's not allowed to be a kid, essentially.
Yeah, and I do find it interesting that like Dipper and Mabel, they're always like, no, she cheated because she had money, while like to be good at mini golf, while when she gets out of the car, she's like, no, I've trained like for 10,000s of hours to do this, so it's not like it's not like she just paid and like and just
is like roided up.
Yeah, it's like it says that this is something that she put a lot of time and effort in. So I don't know, that was something I did like, that like, even as we were just talking about it, mainly due to the fact that, hey guys, it's about 40 minutes away till Thursday for us. It's it does like add a little bit more, like fleshes out her, like who she is as a person, rather than just like she's the mean rich girl. And it's like, well, it kind of makes sense with her parents just being like, if you lose,
you're not one of us.
Yeah, who are you? So yeah, I guess for me, most like, yeah, I have to like do kind of go the same way you did, of like kind of taking everybody out.
Process of elimination.
Yeah. Let's see. Not a dipper. Not really. Stan really doesn't do much. Stan actually, all he does is encourage and then just like gets weirded out and leaves.
I know.
That's like the most wholesome he has been in the whole series so far, except for like when you see his full memory. Definitely not Seuss. Not Pacifica. Let's see. Yeah, not Sergei or Franz. I don't know. I think I might have to say. I think I might also have to be Dipper because I know I told people like no, just cheat, but more out of jest. Like when we're playing a game, where it's just like no, just cheat, just do it. But
just make it easier.
Yeah, but it's like I don't know. I've been in that same role where it's just like I don't know. People complain and it's just like I listen and I don't know. Give advice and or stuff they think would be helpful. Like kind of not to completely copy what Hop said a couple seconds ago, but yeah, it's as much as I would like to be Big Henry.
Go home, Polly.
Go home, Polly. It's my time. I'm still alive, so I can't be Big Henry.
You can't make that claim.
Yeah. That's when I die. I want it on my tombstone. He finally Big Henry. Who's your favorite?
The Lilliputians are really fun. The whole lot of them. They're so silly. But I also like the idea of Sergei, where he's stuck falling around this rich family, but they treat him like literal garbage. Like, oh, I'll just get a new one of him, and he's only allowed to ride in the tiny trunk, but there's more space in the actual car. Siler and Kraz are also great. Not that they're really in it.
The boys.
The boys.
I just saw that apparently Priscilla, his voice actor, also plays Polly.
That's funny. All the different Lilliputians were great too, though. I think tired to me right now is gonna go Sergei. Because he really is kind of just getting dragged around and doing his best. What about you?
I was going through that. It's definitely one of the Lilliputians. And I'm like, is it Franz? I'm like, I don't know. And then I was like, no, it's definitely Pirate Lilliputian. I think Pirate, well, Lilliputian Pirate Captain. I'm just going to copy and paste it.
Okay.
I don't know. I just like how he's like, oh shoot, not even like part of the conversation. Oh my goodness, that's huge.
Control Shift V. That's paste without formatting.
Oh, okay. Control Shift V. I did it again. How do I get rid of it?
Erase it. Oh no, the formatting's stuck. Control Z. Control Z. Oh no.
What's going on?
I'm Control Zing too many things. But anyway.
Yeah, there you go. I had to Control Z. Alright, so we say Control Shift V.
I got it.
There we go.
I just lost.
You have to put yours in again. Yeah, it's. I think I just find it hilarious where it's like, Franz is definitely like trying to win him over, just like, yeah, no, we're cool, and then it's just out of nowhere, it's just like, oh, how dare you? And so, it's I don't know. I like how he's just butting in, and it's just like, I think how none of the things would have escalated if he just wasn't eavesdropping and just saying like, bah, rivalry.
It really is hilarious.
So, but yeah, that is it for this episode. If you got this far, well, aren't you cool?
Thank you.
Yeah, and I don't know. Probably while I'm stalling, I'll see if anyone did any review stuff. But if you guys do that, helps. It's like just natural, like helping people hear about it, and that'd be cool. So, as I stall and click things to see if I can find it with my internet just not wanting to load things fast. Oh, there it is. Let's see. Bada bing, bada boom. Hey, 2 ratings, but still 5 stars. But yeah. So anyway, that is all. We'll be back next Monday with another episode of Gravity Falls. And when does the episode come out? It comes out. Is this the first episode of June?
Might be.
Yes. 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 Yeah, because Into the Bunker comes out Memorial Day weekend. Actually, on Memorial Day. So anyway.
Wow.
Yeah. Happy June, y'all. My brain deleted whatever I was going to say next. So, bye-bye.